Hello, internets. This is James Legg here. Just finished editing the Storyline episode. We'll be talking about some other things we cut out. We'll be talking about some of our favorite moments in the stereotypes so far. And then we're talking about some of our favorite audience interactions. So I think it's fun. There's a lot of fun in there, and we will be back. Hopefully, you'll only see 2, maybe 1 more of these, and then we'll have new scenes for you guys. So we're working hard on filming those, but in the meantime, you can hear some of our behind-the-scenes conversations. So see y'all soon. Bye.
The comments say some of the cuts of rearranging leave out important details.
Let's talk about the other things we cut, see if people noticed them.
Okay.
So another thing we cut was the restaurant scene.
The cash
Oh,
register.
right.
I bet there are some people who didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I'm willing to
You didn't, or
Put-
you did? No.
Yes, there's one person that didn't notice. The restaurant scene, we cut. Originally, they walk in, they go to the cashier, order, and we introduce the phone buzzing, and she's like, "Oh, you know our rules. No phones at lunch." Blah 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 blah. Then they go sit down. Do you feel like we're in a fishbowl? People are looking at her.
Right.
Like that, and then the phone rings. So when we looked at it, we're like, hey, we can just use this establishing shot, and then they come in the door and sit right down and just get to the meat of the scene.
It feels a little disjointed, but I agree with you that you want to get to the meat of the scene.
To be honest, I was never happy with how that scene turned out. Because in my head, it was always a lot more chaotic. Like, y'all asked me what the difference is between how I see the scenes when I write them and
How they turn
out. And the biggest thing that we had was, as you'll notice, the opening scenes are a lot slower, especially compared to David and his sister's first scene. Because they asked me that, and I told them, well, to be honest, I watch movies like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and shows like Psych, where it's always really, really quick dialogue.
That's impossible. They don't even know you. They couldn't
No,
possibly.
they couldn't. You're right. And since the body can't be here and this is all a dream, and oh, look, there's Elmo the elf. Good morning, Elmo. What's in your basket?
Shut up.
Vlad wasn't murdered. What? Say that again. Use a Jamaican accent.
Me say Vlad the murder. The murder thing can't work. No man, the man's face. Sean.
All right, let's go.
That's why my scripts are usually so long, is because it's dialogue that was meant to be said very quickly. The diner scene kind of dragged, and to me, that whole thing should have been over in about 30 seconds. Where it's just one thing after the other and after the other, and you should see Ellen just about to snap. And I was never happy with how that one turned out.
Yeah.
Although I do love the shot when Ellen leaves and we follow her.
Yeah, that
on
is
the
a good
phone.
shot.
That's
That's how I saw that
shots.
part.
Yeah.
Was just all of a sudden okay and quiet.
Yeah, and then she goes and then there's like when Luke would actually hold the light, that light, silhouetting her and everything. I really love that shot. There was one time, I don't know if it's in it's not in the
like
outtakes,
leaning out.
but there was one time the light's not even on. He set it down. We're rolling and he's texting, and I come around the corner. I'm like, Luke, what are you doing? We're rolling. Oh, so funny.
I don't think we called rolling either.
Probably not.
I mean, sometimes we just do a take and be like, let's go again, and we just don't stop rolling because we're going so fast.
In Luke's defense, that thing was heavy.
And the other thing is, as we were trying to capture their ordering, that was the last shot we were getting that day. The restaurant was opening very soon. We were literally out of time. We had a guest, a patron of the restaurant come in, and we were like, okay, we gotta wait. And then when the patron left, we were like, okay, go. So we were very rushed to try to capture that scene. It's not about the food. What we were trying to do when they were ordering was get the phone ringing, get the chaos started. But yeah, to your point, TJ, you're right. It never quite gets to that full-on chaos that it really wanted to get to. And I think that's because I didn't know how to direct it. Maybe.
Yes, it's all your fault.
So we've talked a lot about some of the bad things about Shoreline. What are some good things that we like? Did we ever look at something? I know I have something.
Once it's written, I'm done. So.
I remember the first time you showed me the I think it's episode 5, the Ellen with the flashback stuff. I loved shooting the grandma flashback, but what I really love is from about the moment where she hits play on the tape deck. And I think a lot of it is Daniel's scoring. Does a lot to really just add some emotional weight. I'm still not at the 100% level. I don't want to leave anything alone.
Nothing's 100% yet.
But But yeah, I think that's a great moment. I love the opening montage. The getting sort of establishing, getting the ball rolling. That whole uploading to YouTube, that sequence.
You just like to get to pull out your Panasonic. What's it?
It's a Panasonic 3D, I think.
I think that's a favorite scene of mine. Basically, I think I was talking to you about this, Ben. Like in movies, when you're watching a scene and you're being introduced to a character and you don't really know who they are yet, you're kind of seeing them. They're doing something. Like in Toy Story, they're playing. With Andy. Woody's playing with Andy. And you're just kind of watching this. You're like, okay, is this about the kid? Probably not, because we've all seen the trailer. But, but if you could imagine watching Toy Story and you're like, okay, is this about Andy? And then the toy comes to life and he blinks and you're like, whoa. Oh.
If you saw Toy Story and hadn't seen the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. You were like, oh, the toy's alive,
Yeah.
So in the opening montage, when you hear the song coming in, playing, and you just think, oh, it's a montage, and this guy's getting up, doing his day, cleaning up his basement. He starts uploading, typing things.
I like how we've also established his wife's personality. I don't think she's even going to be seen.
Yeah, she's over here. And he starts typing on the YouTube video, and you're like, he almost broke my... And then it cuts, and we're like, broke what? And then he publishes, and then the real music fades out, and it goes into the music on the YouTube video, and you go, oh, they're the band. It's about the band, and that music,
in the band.
The music I've been hearing is them. That's them. That oh moment, and I love those. So that's like a moment where I'm like, yes, that's we're hitting that. Or when Ellen, one of the things I love about the Ellen scene is we're with her guitar and mom, and then she's not picking up the guitar in the future, and intercutting between those, is we are saying so much about Ellen and who she is with her mom, and then who she has become with no dialogue.
Well, let's talk real quick about your favorite viewer interactions, because unfortunately there haven't been a lot of public
shame on
viewer interactions. Yeah, shame on you. I would love it if people would post more feedback, be it positive or negative.
Or call me on, if you're my friend, call me on the phone. James, I just watched Storyline and let me tell you everything. I'll be like, yes.
Don't call me, text me.
But don't do that. Don't do it. Put it publicly. That's the point. I mean, yes, absolutely.
So you can say, I hate how you did this, and then the next person comment, what is wrong with you? You're going to, I wish you would die.
All those terrible comments on YouTubes? We want that.
Yeah, I mean, part of Storyline for me is learning how to fail publicly, which I'm doing with great aplomb right now. But
hold on, I'm getting a call. Let me put it on speaker.
Hello?
Hey, James. I just saw Storyline and
You thought it was the best thing ever? I don't know how well this audio is going to pick this up.
I don't believe her.
I thought it was the best thing ever. I'm not being paid to say this.
So,
hold on. Oh, I have no cash. Sorry, Caroline. You can take that money.
Thank you, Caroline. So anyway, I wish, in my heart of hearts, that people would interact with the show more publicly, either on the YouTube comments or on Facebook or whatever, so that discussion could start and it would prompt us to, know what people want to hear, what we want to talk
about me. I actually thrive on criticism. My mom was one of those that if I ever gave her a story, she would give it back to me just covered in red marks. I'd be like, all right, these are things I can fix. So the more problems you point out to me, the happier I am.
Right. So failing publicly, that's kind of where I was going, because I need to learn how to fail publicly. Because one of the things that crippled me, that was the voice of the resistance, if you go all the way back to episode 0, was fear of failure. So I'm just going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to fail and be okay with that. So please comment more. But what we wanted to talk about now was favorite viewer interactions that have not been public. So we get phone calls. We have conversations about Storyline with friends that aren't public. So James, you had some that you wanted to talk about.
Well, I don't have one. I feel like in my memory banks there's another one, but I'll have one that I'll talk about. Les Mis just come out. Just come out. I'm not a writer.
Les Mis just come out.
Yeah, Les Mis. You know that Les Mis? You've seen this? You've seen this Les Mis?
It's like, cry, cry, cry.
Some man steals a loaf of bread and happens after that. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Someone saw Les Mis, and, you know, it's a musical brought onto the screen, so they had to cut out a lot. And she was talking about one of her favorite parts is when Valjean is in the priest's house, and he steals the silver and then runs away, and he's caught. And so in the musical, he's narrating and saying, I played the grateful servant, thanked him like I should, and then I got up in the night, took the silver, took my flight. And so he's narrating what he's doing. And that's one of her favorite musical parts. She said she's always loved it.
Right.
You know, yeah, my yeah. And so she was waiting to see it, and then it didn't happen. And at first she was disappointed. She was like, "Oh, they took it out." But then, you know, our theme music came in and was like, "Halt, halt, halt, Lydia! You shouldn't be okay with that because that's exposition. That doesn't need to happen in a film.
Right.
You don't need for him to say."
You need it in the Broadway production.
Yeah, but you don't need if you can see
from the balcony. What's he picking up?
Yeah, exactly. You don't see it, but in a movie, you see him. It would be weird if he's like, "I took the silver, took my flight." You know, if he just said that.
That's how James
They're
takes
eating
things.
her.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me.
So the point being that it's working. There are people that are watching our show, and when they go to the movies, we go with them, and we're educating them. That's the main thing, is people can go see a movie and they can enjoy movies more because they understand why writers, screenwriters, directors make the decisions that they do. And to me, that is golden. I would love it if someone would love our movie. I love our movie. It encourages me to no end to know that people are learning about movies, because I love learning about movies.
Yeah, Kyle gave me one of those too, where when we were talking about the introduction for Toy Story, where he says, "You know, I never thought about what would happen if you cut things. I just think, oh, that's a good scene. I enjoy watching Andy play with Woody, but I hadn't thought about, well, what if that wasn't there?" He's like, "But yeah, it is necessary. You have to know that stuff. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense." Then he said, "Do you and James just think about that stuff like all the time?"
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Ben and I were at the office, and we were tearing Les Mis up about all the time, little like story things, camera things. And, you know, someone was like, "Oh, is it bad?" We're like, "No, we love it."
Yeah.
And in fact, in tearing up in doing a critical analysis of the movie, I end up loving it more and want to go see it again.
Yeah.
It just helps me enjoy it more. So I am encouraged to no end. So if you guys have a story like that, tell us. That would help us in our, you know, because it's hard. Doing Storyline is really, really hard to do it every 2 weeks and to shoot a scene and an episode on top of having a full-time job. You have a family.
Yeah.
TJ and I just moved.
Right.
It is like we moved in. You see, this actual room actually started out looking pretty good this morning. What you don't see is off in the kitchen. There's no room to walk. There's no room to walk in the bathrooms or any of the rooms. Like we literally just dumped our stuff and then started working on Storyline. So it's hard, you know. So when you guys interact and say, "Hey, you know, send us a word of encouragement," that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah. I'm needy.
Yeah.
I need criticism. James needs encouragement.
I do. I give enough criticism to myself in my room.
No, stupid James.
TJ, we need 10 seconds of us goofing off because we don't have any more outtakes.
You can always call Caroline and put her on speaker.
What kind of jokes can I get for $1?
$1? You get no jokes.
No jokes? How about a funny accent?
No.
Attitude? Oh wait, we get that for free.
You're already kidding, man.
Yeah.